just hope that those calling for peace, when the time comes and we do mount a legal challenge and they see the justice in the matter, they will switch from peace to justice.
Thank you very, very much. Mr. Pratt, please take us home.
I think that's a very simple story. I mean, the editors of the Inside themselves added so many things to the story. It's a very simple, straightforward story. Mr. Joe Anochie, who happens to be the chief executive of the National Communications Authority and who is portrayed as an ICT guru, is on television and is being asked very simple questions by the host, Paul Adum Ochre. So I'm not going to waste time at all. Let's go to the questions. You know, Paul Adum Ochre asks very simple questions, you know. He says, so why the NDC are saying that they want Techiman South? Do you have the results? Mind the question. This Paul Adum Ochre says the NDC is claiming that it wants Techiman South. Do you have the results? Then he says, yes, we have. He says, yes, we have. Then Paul Adum Ochre says, show me the results. And then they put some results on the screen. And then Paul Adum Ochre says, this is it. Then Paul Adum Ochre says, no, it is not it. He says, this is the presidential and not the parliamentary results. Then Adum Ochre says, yes, I think we don't have the parliamentary yet. Paul, it is difficult getting all the pink sheets, especially the parliamentary ones. This is Adum Ochre. Then Paul asks, okay, so you don't have it, but you have the presidential results, and that shows that Mahama has won. And then Adum Ochre says, yes. This is clear. You understand? Now, we have been told before by the MPP that within 12 hours after voting closed, they had all the pink sheets. This is an admission that that statement cannot be true. And that indeed, days after the elections, MPP was still having difficulty getting pink sheets for parliamentary elections. This is Joe Anochie. So when the MPP told us that they have 140 seats secured, what was the basis?
Is it 149?
What was the? I'm not the one saying this. This is Joe Anochie. And in fact, Joe Anochie is being interviewed by Paul Adum Ochre. And Paul Adum Ochre is a member of the National Communications Authority, appointed by the New Patriotic Party. And he's the one interviewing Joe Anochie. You understand? And Joe Anochie says that days after the elections, they were finding it very difficult to get pink sheets covering the parliamentary elections. So all the claims they're making, where are the claims coming from? The only pink sheet they had at the time that Joe Anochie was being interviewed by Paul Adum Ochre was one which indicated that John Mahama had won the constituency. That was very interesting. You see, me, I like to do my things in a certain way. First of all, this is today's daily graphic. All right? This is today's daily graphic.
Yes.
This is page 33. This is an article authored by the veteran journalist Cameron Dodu.
Yeah.
And Cameron Dodu has demonstrated over the years that he's not a lover of the NDC. And that's to put it mildly. The heading of the article is, "Oh, easy, but why?" Here it is. Come on, baby, not me. Oh, easy, but why? Inside the story, this is, sometimes I forget my English language, you know.
Go to Mass. Your Mass is better than
But this is a part of an article authored by Cameron Dodo. And it is published today. And it says, in a charged atmosphere like this, the last thing one would have expected would have been that the EC chair would make the slightest mistake in her declaration of the result. That's the last thing that one would have expected. The very last thing, not one of the last things, the very last thing that one would have expected. And Cameron Dodo knows his English. So every word here has been deliberately put here. So the very last thing that anybody would have expected would have been that the EC would make mistakes, not even the slightest mistake, in the declaration of election results. It says, it isn't the fact that the mistake did not affect the overall results that matters. So he's saying that whether or not the mistake affected the overall results or not is not an issue. What is important is that the EC ought to have been so thorough that no possible mistake could have occurred anywhere in the EC's declaration. He's saying that we should have zero tolerance for mistakes when it comes to declaration of results. And then he goes on. For we do live in an age in which fact-checking has become doubly essential in everything. Fact-checking. So Cameron Dodo is saying that there was no fact-checking. Fact-checking, which is essential in everything, was ignored in the declaration of the EC results. And I hope you understand that I'm not the one speaking. I'm only repeating what Cameron Dodo is saying. Master, me, I like to do my things clean. Pepper. You remember after the declaration of the results, CODEO, which is the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, came up and said that they had used some method, and that method had come to confirm that the results declared by the EC was perfect. CODEO. This is the Ghanaian Times of today. Page 12. Ghanaian Times of today, page 12. The same CODEO. Now listen. The Coalition of Domestic Election Observers has urged the Electoral Commission to hold a forum to properly address computational errors in the presidential results it declared. So when did CODEO come to realize that there were computational errors? They were saying that everything was correct. Now they say that there are computational errors which must be addressed in a public forum by the EC. They don't stop there. CODEO, it described as unfortunate, the EC's press release where it stated that the chairperson of the commission inadvertently used 13,433,573 as the total valid cast, but the total valid cast was actually 13,119,460. Look at the difference. We are talking about a difference in excess of 300,000 votes that CODEO decided to ignore. Now become to admit. I mean, this country is an interesting country.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
You know, all you have to do is to be patient and watch and listen.
Sure.
Just be patient, sit back,
and
watch and listen to the players.
Yes, that's true.
They will dance and dance and turn and dance and turn and turn. In the end, they become dizzy and they begin to collapse. You know, when you spin, you begin to get dizzy. And when the business reaches a certain height, you fall. That's science. That's what is happening. Now listen again. The coalition asked the EC to go beyond passive publication of press releases to hold a forum to address underlying issues with respect to computational errors identified so as to allay any lingering concerns and doubts. So CODIO itself has not been able to allay its own lingering concerns and doubts. Now, who accepts an election results over which there are lingering concerns and doubts?
And they say we shouldn't say.
Who accepts an election results over which there are lingering concerns and doubts? And these are not my words. These are the words of CODIO. It says, a statement signed by Albert Ahen, the national coordinator of CODIO, said the release of CODIO's 2020 parallel vote tabulation estimates had generated some public interest and reaction, particularly following the EC's press release on December 10, 2020, in which the Commission corrected certain errors in its previous official declaration. You know, I must commend Mr. Albert Ahen. This statement he signed is an attempt to redeem the image of CODIO. Because CODIO's image had been totally destroyed by a statement made by Sheikh
Shaibu.
Arumia. And Mr. Ahen is struggling to redeem that image. And he's admitting here that after CODIO released that statement, there were serious concerns about CODIO's own credibility.
And they are safety.
You understand? Mm-hmm. Now, CODIO has jumped. Well, it's in the Daily Ghanaian Times of today, page 12, and I think everybody should read it. I mean, it's so clear. I'm not going to waste my time on it. You know.
No.
I haven't finished. Okay. Or you want me to finish? I can finish.
Well, I just want to add something.
Hold on, when I finish, then we can add. Master, I'm reading the newspapers today. And I'm seeing all kinds of headlines. Wow, Ghana is sweet. Master,
Which one?
Akufo-Addo gazetted as president-elect. Then there are some people, unfortunately, including the presidential candidate of the Convention People's Party, Ivor Greenstreet. Ivor, I'm disappointed in you. So use judicial means to address electoral grievances. Ivor, where is this coming from? And Ivor, who gave you the mandate to take this position on behalf of the CPP? Have you consulted the Central Committee? Ivor, have you even had a discussion with the leadership of the party before making such statements? Ivor, the Convention People's Party does not belong to you. It is not your personal property. And Ivor, you must listen to me clearly. You are stopped from making any statements on behalf of the Convention People's Party without clearance from the party's structures. I'm a member of the Convention People's Party. I know that there has been no consultations within the party to take any such position. And I am disappointed that this is happening. Be that as it may, they say use judicial means to address grievances. And there are several of those kinds of statements as well. Now, the question I ask simply is there only one option for addressing judicial grievances? There isn't. CODIO, for example, has said one, which is addressing all these discrepancies in the results announced by the election. That is not by a court. CODIO says hold a public forum and answer them. Is what CODIO saying illegal? It is not illegal. It is legal. It is proper. It is correct. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
IDEC had said something else.
Yeah.
INEC
says it's unconstitutional.
INEC has said,
to address the computation error.
yes, INEC has called upon us to address the computational errors.
Yeah, in the results.
The inter-party...
Kodiro has called on us to address the computational errors.
Okay.
Yeah.
IDEC says that, IDEC and other CSO says that it's unconstitutional for John Mahama to have demanded for a forensic audit of the results. It's unconstitutional.
But IDEC has made another statement.
Can you imagine this?
It is within his constitutional right to do so.
The inter-party coordinating committee or whatever it is also held a press conference yesterday and called for an audit of the election results. Now, there are so many options open to political parties. Why the judicial process alone? In fact, in correcting its own mistakes, the EC did not adopt the judicial process.
That issue has come up strongly.
In correcting its own mistakes, the EC did not adopt the judicial process. Why are we not telling the EC that when it discovered that he had made mistakes, it should have gone to court for an order to correct their errors?
Absolutely.
So this is double standard hypocrisy. I can't believe it. You understand? Now, my brothers, listen to me very carefully. There is no law in Ghana, no constitutional provision in Ghana, which compels people who have grievances, election grievances, to go to court. I dare anybody to show me any provision in the Constitution or any law in Ghana which compels any candidate in an election to go to court. There's no law. There's no provision. It says that, the provision says that if you are dissatisfied and if you like, if you choose, then go to court. If you don't like to go to court, it is not against the law, it is not against the Constitution. Again, the Constitution of this country prescribes several other methods of seeking justice. Many methods of seeking justice. One of them is protest. And indeed, when it comes to protest, I have said repeatedly that the King Kong of protest in Ghana is His Excellency the sitting President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Clearly, he's the King Kong of protest. You understand? And protest is not unlawful.
No.
So if you think that there are things wrong with this declaration of election results and so on, and you are protesting, it is lawful, it is constitutional. And nobody can tell you to abandon that part and go to court. Nobody has the right to tell anybody what to do. The options are open to individual political parties, they are open to individual personalities, and they are open to groups and so on. And the options are many. There are many. The options include protest, legitimate option. In any case, reading today's newspapers, I found an interesting quote from Elvis Afriye Ankra. Can somebody help me to find it?
Yeah, it's somewhere here.
And Elvis Afriye Ankra is actually saying that rigging elections amount to treason. So if you take the view that rigging elections amounts to treason, the Constitution prescribes ways of dealing with treason. It doesn't include going to court. The 1992 Constitution says that when treason is committed, you don't go to court.
Citizens must defend the Constitution.
You understand? So if you take the view that there have been election malpractices and so on, one of the options you may exercise is to go to court. If you take the view that treason has been committed, that's another way of dealing with it. You understand? If you take the view that what has happened amounts to a constitutional violation, amounts to overthrowing the Constitution, there's another way of going about it and so on. So there are several ways of going about this matter. Happily and luckily for all of us, the National Democratic Congress and its presidential candidate have come out and say, look, we want to resolve this matter peacefully. What we want to do is to have an audit of the figures. if you have an independent audit of the figures, and the independent auditor states that we are wrong, we are ready to accept the results and move forward.
Yes.
If you don't want this, what do you want?
He said we should go to court.
If you don't want this, do you want to uphold the view that this is treason? Because if you uphold the view that this is treason, you know the consequences. I don't want to believe that this is treason. Because if I come to the conclusion that this is treason, the option prescribed by the Constitution is clear. The Constitution says that when treason is committed, we should do every and anything possible to overturn the treason which has been committed. So I don't want to go there. I don't want